Do it again, Jesus. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to this wonderful and beautiful and sunny, but cool Monday afternoon, or shall we say it's Monday. Well, I am Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the president of a nonprofit organization, and it is acknowledged as Trophy of Life Incorporated, where we have the opportunity, the privilege, and the God assignment to render hope, encouragement, and inspiration to you across the whole wide world. Let me bring in my co-host.
Hello, happy Monday. Like she said, I am Takira Swan, and I am so happy to be with you today. Before we go on with our amazing guest for today, which is us, just want to remind you to go to our YouTube page, like, share, subscribe, so you can help us bring hope, encouragement, and inspiration to the entire world.
To the entire world. And that is such a blessing and honor to be used by God to do that. And we're grateful that He's chosen us to do it, and we're doing it to the best of our ability. Well, today again is Monday, and we just wanted to share a word of encouragement to you, just a general word to live by. But when you actually apply this to your lives, it will really bless you. It will cause you to be in a better place. It would cause you to think in another way, a different way of thinking, embracing some of the statements that we're about to make, and is actually called the 12 Universal Laws. Some of the things that we may state, you may not agree with, but let's agree to disagree. Many of the statements, of course, you will definitely embrace and enjoy, and even comment when you find that you have an agreement with what we say, or how we say it, or how we share it. Comment on it. We'd love to hear from you. We enjoy hearing from you. Well, the first universal law, let me read it to you. I'm going to read it to you now. You know good and well, 12 of them. I don't have it stored here, but it's stored here. So let's do this.
Yes.
Let's do this. Okay. Law number 1, law of divine oneness. We are all connected. To understand this law is to be more compassionate towards others. I can stop right there and talk on that. Just to be compassionate towards others. And what a timely message to share. We all have the same ability to make mistakes and the same ability to achieve greatness. That's so enlightening, because again, we want to be compassionate to others. And everybody doesn't make, they're not faultless. Everybody makes mistakes at some point in their lives. But also, we don't have to stay there with making mistakes. We can also achieve greatness. Yes. The law of divine oneness. We're the human race. What bothers me sometimes is when, not sometimes, but the fact, because of the color of our skin, no matter what color we are, there are those that just want to impose harm upon us, talk about us just because. I'm like this, just give them something to talk about. But when people don't embrace others, knowing that one race, you're not above another, hey, we have to be compassionate with others. Number 2, the law of vibration. Everything is a constant motion. The people we meet and the objects we hold are all vibrating at their own frequency. And we must match the energy of the things we desire in order to obtain them. I love that. I love that. Let me read that one more time. Everything is in constant motion. The people we meet and the objects we hold are all vibrating at their own frequency. And we must match the energy of the things we desire in order to obtain them. Something that we want, go after it. Go after it. Put that energy in motion. You talk about things that you desire to do in life. We talk about things that we want to achieve. Come on, we can do this if you put some fire behind your actions and watch some things happen. Put a plan in motion and watch some things happen. Love it, love it. Takira, you can interject anytime you want to. I'm just going to keep on reading because this is good to me.
I definitely agree with that though. The law of vibration, I think that's one that a lot of people don't really look at. And then also in the scientific sense, everything really does have a vibration on this earth, whether you know it or not. Like we have our own vibration, plants, the earth, everything is in constant motion. And I don't think people understand that. And something like that, that's fact, is so amazing to me just in general. So
yeah. Yes. Law of correspondence. Our lives are created by our daily subconscious patterns. In order to change, we must first identify the thoughts and habits that are holding us back. These are really some simple but powerful laws. Think
yeah.
on some of those things that are holding us back, that would hold you back. What holds you back may not hold someone else back. So think on your own individual lives and see what is holding you back. Is it trauma that's happened to you in your life? Embrace it. Bring it to the forefront of your mind so you can take it on, think on it. It may hurt a little bit, but think on it and cause that to be a stepping stone to make you greater in life. As long as we don't address it, it's always going to be there to haunt us. And we don't want that. That would only hold us back. Find out what it is that's holding you back. If it's a person, deal with it. Deal with it. Whether you have to go to them and have a conversation, because when you have the conversation with that individual, you're thinking on, once I get through this, you will never have control over me again. Once I address this issue, you will never have control over me again. You will never hold me back. And sometimes it is a who, not necessarily always a what. But when you address it, it's only going to make you greater. It's only going to make you better.
Hold
Lord
on, before you go to the next one. That law of correspondence is a big one. We talk about it on our broadcast all the time, whether people know it or not. Your mind and your thoughts, they shape really who you are. So even with the things that you want to change, it all starts with your thought pattern. And the law says that your lives are created by your daily subconscious patterns. So the way you think controls your every emotion, your every feeling, your every pattern that you create, the things you physically do. So if you like the way the things are going, that's fine. Think the same way. But if you want to change something, just change your thought pattern, change your mindset. And then that's how things will automatically just fall in line.
Yeah. It's amazing. When we sit and think, if we think negatively, your actions will follow your thoughts.
Yeah. And you'll make a lot of decisions that aren't the best when you are in that space of negativity, in that dark space of thinking. And a lot of times you'll be saying, oh man, why don't I just do this? It's all about your mindset and where you are at the time. So like we always say here, like when you're in that dark space, if you could just find that glimpse of hope to change your mindset around, that's how you change your situation. So law of correspondence, remember that.
Law of correspondence. Let's see. The law of attraction. To put it simply, focus on the things you want and not the things you do not want. Truly believe you are capable of having what you want, and the universe will present it to you. It goes back to the law of correspondence. Thinking positively, put a plan in motion, and you can have it. Sometimes if there are things that may come immediately, there are things that may take months, there are things that may take years, but each day you're working towards what you want to achieve. So I think that's a good one. Okay, law of inspired action. Let's see what this one has to say. Ooh, listen to your inner guidance. As stated above, the law of attraction will present you with endless opportunities, but it is up to you to take the necessary steps to actually attain what you've asked for. You got to work at it. You have to work at it. You said you want it. Don't wait for someone else to motivate you. Motivate yourself.
Yeah.
Come on. There are times, and I know we thank God for Facebook. We thank God for Zoom. We thank God for Instagram. We thank God for all of these media platforms. And we cannot always just wait for them to motivate you or us or me. You have to have that energy, get that energy going, your thoughts, the energy, the plan, all of that comes together. All of that comes together. And you notice individuals who always, well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to, and then 5 years later, well, I was going to do this, and I was going to do, we have to do better. We have to do better. Actually, it's an individual thing. And then we as adults have to understand that the younger generation is looking at us. We don't have a plan. They're not going to have a plan. And I'm not categorizing everyone, because there are young people that have come from humble beginnings or trauma in their life, in their families, but they have come full circle and have done much better in their lives than what their parents have done. So, but they had a plan. They had a plan. Okay, let's see, because I lose my place.
Also, hold on, I just thought of something before you go to the next one. I just want to add also, with that particular law, you also, in addition to having a plan of trying to get what you want, you also have to prepare to get ready for the blessings that come in your life. Like a lot of people, let's say, for example, I don't know, let's say relationships, you want a husband or you want a wife, but you're not ready for it. You haven't prepared, prepared to receive what you've asked for. So if you have a plan, that's fine. You work toward it, that's fine. But favor is a real thing. And sometimes when you put that thing out there and you ask for it, you don't want to ever get a blessing that you've been waiting and praying for, and then you're not ready for it, because then it becomes more of a burden than a blessing. It's like, I gave you what you wanted, but you weren't ready. So go ahead.
That was good. I like that. Let's hop on the husband thing. You want a husband. Let's see. Let me see the best way to put it. You want a husband, and I know there are statements that say they have to accept me the way I am. Okay, that's good. And then there are statements that say, yeah, definitely prepare. You don't even love yourself. We have to love ourselves, and don't wait for someone else to make you complete. God makes you complete. You be complete in yourself. Be complete in who you are in God. And even if you don't have a relationship with God, there are some great, wonderful people here in the world walking the earth, but they're complete in who they are. And I find that when you learn to love yourself, it's easier to love someone else. Not looking for the love of another individual to complete you. Think about that. Just think about that. It's almost like having a baby trying to save a marriage. If it's
That's
not,
never
if the
gonna work
love
out.
is not there, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
And just to piggyback off what you said, though, and honestly, in my opinion, you guys can agree or disagree. When people say they want to prepare for a relationship that they want, like a man or a woman or whatever, The best way, in my opinion, to prepare for your wife, your spouse, your partner, whatever you believe in, when you want to prepare for that relationship, that companion, the best way to prepare for that is to work on yourself. So yes, it's okay if you want to learn how to cook, you want to learn, learn all these different things that you think are going to be pleasing to whoever is supposed to come into your life. That's fine. But the best way to prepare for any type of romantic relationship is to work on yourself. When you're focused on yourself, when you're focused on your health, mentally, spiritually, physically, and you're just happy within, I'm telling you, that's when people come into your life and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so wonderful, marry me. That's how it works. Work work on yourself. And a lot of people that I've met have said, when I met the love of my life, I wasn't even looking for love. Exactly. You were focused on yourself. And when you focus on yourself and what you want and you need, just like that law of attraction said, you start attracting what is supposed to belong to you. So
I love it. I love it. And you know that saying as well, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I've seen some stomachs, and come on, we can kind of step back from that statement. See? Okay, we can kind of
and
step
you know what?
because
If you can't cook, that's fine. Find you a man or woman that can cook. Listen, you don't have to know how to do everything. You gotta you be complete in yourself, know who you are, you know your strengths and your weaknesses. If you're like, girl, I can't even boil water, that's fine. There's plenty of men out there who know how to cook and will throw down. Then ask for what you want. Ask for what you want.
that's right. That is so true. There are women that can't cook and men that can cook and prefer to cook. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's to each his own, to the own,
Get
to
you a
their own,
chef.
their own. Look, don't bring whatever your thoughts are in getting a man. And actually, you're not even really what you call getting the man, because the man had to find you.
Let me tell you,
Why would you not hear this?
that's a whole nother broadcast in itself.
Okay,
But
okay.
we're
All right,
woo,
back on track.
okay.
Back on track. Okay. Which one did I stop with?
You're on
Action.
the number 6.
Okay. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Situations occur that give, situations occur that give how low vibrational frequencies are and bring on emotions such as anger and sadness, both which are valid emotions and should be felt in their entirety. However, there comes a time when you need to tap into the power and get yourself back to a positive frequency. Yeah. The anger, the sadness, they're going to come to our lives. I don't care if you're a pastor or you're not even a believer at all. Those times are going to come, but you acknowledge them in their entirety, and whatever it is that's causing you to be angry, sad, depressed, in a low place, if we can actually acknowledge them and deal with them. And I know it's easier said than done, but it will allow us to take control and say, okay, that's enough on that thought, on that topic, or that situation. It's taking too much of my energy. So I make the decision to change my mind and thoughts and go to a happier place, whether it is listening to music, getting physically out of an atmosphere, or some type of setting that causes us to go to that low place. But when we can acknowledge it and deal with it and confront it, it will cause us to go to a better place.
Mm-hmm.
That energy is amazing. The energy that you carry, we've talked about it before, where if it is a positive setting, if you're in a positive setting with good energy and someone comes in with a negative attitude or energy that will cause you to take notice or step back, but believe me, the positive energy outweighs the negative energy. So I encourage you, check your energy. Don't let people bring you down, even if it's something or someone you don't necessarily care for. Now, let's get this straight.
Uh-oh.
There are people we just don't want to be in the company of at times. But when we know that, don't let anything build up in our hearts. Don't let anything build up to the part of going to someone and talking about them.
Yeah.
If anything, if you can, just check with the person. Check yourself. Why is it that this person pushed the wrong buttons in my emotions?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it? And then deal with it. I don't mean deal with it in the sense of, oh girl, just, you got to deal with it. But I mean, address it within yourself.
Yeah.
Because when we can, we don't allow those things to bring us down. Stay in a positive place as long as we can, because now in the times that we live in, it is the things are just so on the upside down.
Yeah.
Chaos. But God allows us to still wear a smile. Look at Takira's smile. Look at He allows us on this 291st day. Oh, come on. It's the Lord. It's the Lord. He's doing this, and we're grateful to him for the same. Takira, can you take over, please, for the
Yes,
last six?
I will gladly take over. But before I do, I just want to reiterate something you said about like when you know you're going to be in the presence of someone who just brings down your energy. I like to call them Iyala moments. It's always good to have an Iyala moment with yourself and say, why does this person make me feel this way? Because that person or people, they might not even care about you at all. They may not even know that they affect you in that way. It's all about you. Look inside you and say, why is this going on? And work with it from there. Don't let anybody bring you down. Like she said, I'm telling you, I've been through it for sure. I'm sure she has. Everybody's been through it. Don't let somebody wreck your day emotionally, physically, make you have butterflies in your stomach because you're around them. No, why do they make me feel that way? And then address it and work on it from there. Okay, let's go on with the last 6 laws. Law number 7, law of cause and effect, also known as karma. Probably the most straightforward law. Whatever you give in this life, good or bad, you will get it in return. Now, I have learned this is like for real a universal law. People may not know all 12, but they know karma. It doesn't matter what you believe in, what your faith is, where you come from. Everybody knows what karma is. You reap what you sow. What you put out there, you're going to get back. And that's just how the things are. And I think one thing I do want to say is if you've done, let's say, bad in your life, and you've offended somebody, the best thing to do is just to forgive yourself and then move on from there. Okay, karma's karma. You reap what you sow, but you don't have to keep sowing those negative things, because don't get to the space where you think that, oh, I done messed up and I might as well keep going. No, it's okay to start over whenever. Just start a new day, and not even a new day. I like to take days as moments. Like I say, you know what? I'm having this moment right now. It's not a good moment, but my better moment is about to come. So I can start my day over without actually starting my day over and sowing those good things and reaping those blessings in my life. What do you think?
I think so. When that karma goes out,
Woo!
well, when it comes back to you, because whatever you put out there, definitely look for it. Why would someone be so maybe naive to think they put out, they're mean to everyone, or they do things underhand, throw the stone and hide their hand and think all good is going to come. Something's
A lot of
wrong
people
with
are like that, though. I'm surprisingly, as I get older, I have learned people just, they put that out there and they say, oh, why would this happen to me? What have I done? And I'm like, girl, you've been so evil to everybody, but that's a
yeah.
whole, yeah.
And you think about it as well as your services to the community.
Mm-hmm.
You never know when God will download to you an idea to go out and serve the community, where you need other entities to help you do that. If you haven't put it out there in the beginning, what makes you think that it's going to come to you as far as, oh, someone will come, I'll do this and I'll do that. And there are 2 ways. One, God will show you, you need people. You need people. You
Yeah.
can't do what he tells you to do all by yourself. You need people. And then the other way is, you put it out there. If you don't put it out there, it's not going to come back to you.
Yeah.
So good way to, and I can't say you want to wait until you have thousands of dollars to help people.
No.
Use what God is, use what God has already placed in your hands, whether it's the ministry of encouragement that doesn't cost, the ministry of a smile that doesn't cost, the ministry of your services to community, to individuals, to in doing something that no one will maybe pat you on the back and say, good girl, good job, good opportunity that you passed off. But when you do some things that are beneficial to other people, and you'll be so encouraged when that comes back to you. I remember I did that. And then there are times when you do things and you forget about it because you did it from your heart. Just support individuals, organizations, churches, pastors, people, the human race.
Yes. You're so cute. Okay, so the next one kind of goes along with what you were saying just then, the law of compensation. Your efforts will never go unnoticed. Trust that the universe wants to reward you and be open to its limitless forms of compensation. Now, the key phrase in that to me is limitless forms of compensation. It doesn't have to be money. That's exactly what she just talked about. The efforts that you make, those good efforts that you make, they really don't go unnoticed. And that speaks on so many levels. One, people are always watching you. So even if you think this little thing I do, I love to do it, it makes me happy, but it doesn't really matter. Like no one really cares. People do care, okay? People care about the efforts that you make. They are going noticed. And those things really do come back to you, I'm telling you. And it's not always money. And to me, the best type of blessings are the ones that aren't monetary. Like those acts of kindness, people doing nice things for you, those acts of favor, like you getting a job. You say, oh, I don't deserve this job. But it's like, no, girl, you deserve this job. Get this job. You have a whole new income. You have a whole new increase. You have health, you have family, you have friends. Those types of things to me are the best compensation in life. So the next law is the law of relativity. Just because we are all connected does not mean we all live the same physical reality. Yet still, no situation is good nor bad until it's put up for comparison. It is best to keep our perspectives neutral and learn to be grateful without having the need to compare. That is a big one. Don't compare your situation to other people, especially in this time of social media, when you have Instagram, you have Facebook, TikTok, whatever. People put on social media what they want you to see. Whether it's good or bad, they posted it for a purpose, for intent. It's intentional. So don't go and you know what? When I was at church yesterday, I physically went to church. I didn't stream. Look at that. I know what. So anyway, so Bishop G was talking about that. And he was saying how, he almost went and got a brand new car when he has a wonderful car that works just fine, because he saw all these people posting next to their cars. And he said, you know what? I can afford to get this new car. But he was like, just because I can afford it doesn't mean it's what I'm supposed to do. You cannot compare your situation with other people. And you never know what people had to do to get what they have. You never know if they really actually have what they have. All these booed up couple relationships out there on Instagram and everything else. You're like, oh, they look so happy. Girl, they could be miserable and just posting pictures to say oh, we're doing good. I'm just saying, social media, guys, just don't let that determine your actions, determine your reality, because yes, the things people post is real, but sometimes it's really not real. It's not their reality. And just remember, they post what they want you to see. So that's all I have to say. What do you have to say about that?
Comparison thing can damage you real bad, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And let me go to the spiritual side of it. Do not compare your anointing to someone else's.
Mm-hmm.
Do not compare your gifting to someone else's. God has gifted you and anointed you in a particular area, and no one can do it like you. No one can do it like you. They may have a larger platform, but that's not you. If God did not call you to that platform, don't pray for it. If he did not ask you to do a certain thing, but you see other people doing what you thought you were ready to do or what you wanted to do, that thought, the thoughts, don't forget the thoughts, but check with God, check with him. Don't compare yourself. Don't even compare your looks to someone else. Oh, their butt is bigger than mine. Got to go get an implant.
Don't do
No,
that.
don't do that.
Don't
Don't
do
do
it.
that.
Don't do it. Seriously. And you know what? When it comes to looks, it's always, I think it's fine to, you want to make yourself better. That's fine. But don't go to the point where you are so obsessed with it, comparing
That's the
yourself to
point. Yeah.
somebody else, because you can go say, oh, she got a flat stomach. I want to get my stomach flat too. That's fine. But don't go to the point where you're putting yourself down and
Right.
you are diminishing who you are based on what someone else looks like. Because no matter what you look like, you really are beautiful. And that's cliche. I know everyone says that, but no, you really are. And you have to see your own beauty and not compare it to someone else. And that girl or that guy you think that has great calves or abs or butt, they may not even like their calves and abs and butt. You never know what someone else is going through. And back to that part when you were talking about the giftings and the anointings, let me tell you, that's the worst kind of comparison that you could ever do when it comes to giftings and anointings, because you don't know what that person has to bear for that anointing that they have. You don't, I'm telling you, you don't want that. So what such and such preaches to the masses and has a huge platform. You don't know what that person has to bear and go through because of that platform that they have. So that's just, keep that in mind, please. Right. And Mother Barnes put in there, are you willing to pay the price? Exactly. Are you willing to pay the price to get what someone else has? You don't know what that price was. So you stay in your own lane and focus on your own giftings, your own anointing, who you are, the beauty that you have. And that's fine, because somebody else may see you and be like, oh, wait a minute, what she had to go through, I ain't going through that either,
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. And they may even, just want an example, they may see that even myself, I have a widows and widowers ministry across the country. But are you willing to lose your spouse?
Exactly.
That you may lead widows and widowers? That's a good thought and point, Takira. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Think about it. Mother Boris, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mother Barnes. Because when God takes those situations that you go through and he turns, like they say, your ashes, beauty from ashes or whatever, people don't understand, like, oh my goodness, Elder Portia, Pastor Portia, she has this great platform. She's done all these things. But are you willing to go through what she had to go through? See, she went through something and turned it into something beautiful. That was the plan that God had for her life. You're not willing to pay that price. So don't compare and be like, oh, she has all these. No. Let her be her. Let you be you. That's just my opinion. All right. We got 3 more left, guys, and we'll be done. Okay. So the next one is the law of polarity. Everything has a polar opposite, and learning is part of the human experience. Take what did not work in a previous situation and apply new opposing methods in your next venture. I think that's a great law to follow. What do they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. If something didn't work out, it's okay. Let's go and devise a new plan. That's one way you can look at it. Devise a new plan. Do the opposite of what you've done. And that also goes to reminiscence the thought of, you have to do something different to get something you never had. I think that is a perfect law to just look at it and say, you know what? Something didn't work out. This situation was negative. What can I do to change it to have a different outcome? How do you feel about that?
You got to do what you have to do.
You got to do what you have to
do. You put it into, there's a thought pattern again. Something did not work for me this time. It worked last time, but it didn't work this time. And then the God is telling you to change, tweak it so that it will be a better result the next time. And you have to be sensitive to that. I'm good.
And a good thing, it also says learning is part of the human experience. If you feel like you failed at something, don't beat yourself up about it. It's just a lesson. I'm telling you. So one thing you can do to get over those things that kind of bring you down and you feel like you failed at is to look at it as a lesson and then change it next time for a different outcome.
When you think about the people who have become famous in inventions, you think they created it at one point and everything was wonderful? They had
Right.
so many failures, but they went back each time, they went back and tweaked it, changed this or changed that until they got to the point where it was a wonderful idea, a wonderful creation. So no different than us. We want a great outcome. Go back and see what didn't work and
Yeah.
let's change it and make it happen.
Awesome. I love that. Last two. Okay, the law of rhythm. Life is a never-ending cycle. It is important to embrace every moment and to remember not to stretch the natural order of things. So much can be said about that. I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. So life really is a never-ending cycle, guys. You can take that in so many ways. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay. Embracing every moment. Embrace every moment and embrace it for what it is. And it says, remember not to stretch the natural order of things. Don't push the limit so much where it's like, girl, why would you do that? This is a catastrophe. You're thinking out the box that was not what we were supposed to do. But really embrace every moment, guys. And just remember that life really is a never-ending cycle. And one thing you can take, one way you can take that first part of that sentence is, after I'm long gone, life is going to continue to go. So one thing I can look at that and say, what can I do to change the world or change my sphere of influence while I'm here now? Because when I'm gone, life is going to continue, but you can plant those seeds so that like encouragement, positivity, hope, we're trying to give. You can plant those seeds so that it continues to go on after you're long gone from here, because life is going to continue. It is a never-ending cycle. And like I said, there's nothing new under the sun, guys. You can take that for what you want, but that's all I'm going to say about that. Nothing new under the sun, for real. Remember that.
Think about the rubber band. You think about how
yes,
you need a rubber band.
stretch it too far, you'll break it. So take
That's
that
a
how you
law.
want it. Take how you want it. And lastly is the law of gender. We are made up of two major types of energy, which are thought about easiest as masculine and feminine. Allow room for both energies and find a balance that suits you best. I think that's just a good way to wrap that up. So the two major energies, you can think of them as masculine, feminine. Embrace both sides of it for whatever you want to pursue. Or I just think you can take that in so many ways. For example, let me think. Okay, so our society defines masculinity and femininity as two separate things, and you have to be one or the other. But I was looking at this post today on Instagram, and it was a cartoon someone drew, and it was a dad hugging his son, and his son was saying, "I love you, Dad." And he was like, "I love you more, son." And then there were two guys laughing at them in the back, talking about, I would beat my son if he ever tried to hug me like that. Like, oh, that's so girly, that's so this. No, like, I think a lot of times our society defines what's feminine and masculine, and it hurts us, because why can't a father and son express their love for each other and say, "I love you"? Why does it have to be, oh, that's a girly thing to do? And then that just creates a perpetual cycle of emotional trauma. Okay. And now you have a man that's growing up who cannot express himself. And then you're upset that he can't express himself. But we say, oh, that's too girly. Don't cry. That's too, don't do that, So I think that's one way you can take it. You have to embrace both. And I would say sometimes the norms that our society defines as masculinity and femininity, I don't think you should really buy into that so much, because why can't a man cry? Why can't he express himself? And I'm not saying, look, well, let me put my opinions to the side, but why can't that happen? What do you feel about that?
I tell you what, one thing I do love is my femininity. That I do love. And then I was thinking about the activities that men do. Think about ballet. They do ballet, but for some men, it would be that's a little too feminine. However, have you seen their bodies? They have some rocking bodies, and I would love to see some of the other men who talk about them do some of those moves, and how they have to do their
Yeah,
bodies,
they're very,
and that
very strong.
and then even in that, strong in their bodies, but strong in their mind and their thought pattern to think. I know some guys are going to be thinking that a woman or female is the only one to do these types of activities, but can you imagine the maybe the struggle to maintain your masculinity when you're on the not the platform, the actually not the audience, what's
The
the
stage.
stage, the stage doing your thing. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Ballet is a beautiful thing, and I love it when the men and the women come together to actually do a show, a production. It is amazing. And I think about back in the day when, and necessarily back in the day, because they people still use it. Men aren't supposed to cry. You better let that let those emotions come out, and let those boys or teenagers or adult men express themselves, because if they let it build up, it's going to come out at the wrong time. It's
Mhm.
not something that is pretty or something that we want to see. We want them to be able to express themselves. So we really have to help them channel how to express themselves. So let's be careful of how we say a man is not supposed to do this or a woman is not supposed to do that. Kind of,
Yeah.
as it says, I think it says, balance it out,
Yeah, it's a
balance it out.
balance.
And
Yeah.
yeah, there definitely is a balance. So
Yeah, and same thing with women. There's a lot of things that women know how to do well, and they do very well. And they're like, you know what? You're not supposed to do that. You're a girl. No, no, that masculine energy that you think, she embraces, let her embrace that. And I think the best part of this sentence is that, allow room for both energies and find a balance that suits you best, which also goes back to the other laws that we said. Don't compare yourself to others and stay out of people's business. If she wants to do whatever, he wants to do whatever, just let them do it. You mind your business, you let God take care of the rest. That's what I feel.
definitely let God take care of the rest. And let's go take this even a little farther for those that are in the I can't get the letters right. LGBTQ,
See,
all of that.
you had it. You
I
had
think
it.
I'm thinking, give them Jesus. Let them develop a relationship with the Lord and let the Lord work it out. That's
Yeah,
it.
let people
That's
be who
that's
they
what we
are.
do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And a lot of people, and that's a whole nother conversation. I tell you, a whole nother broadcast, because a lot of people will disagree with how I feel. But just let people be who they are. And if it's not hurting you, there's no reason for you to go against that person with malice or hatred, especially if you are a Christian spouting that you love Jesus and everything else. Would God or Jesus come to them and do what you're doing? No, that's not the way you treat people. Because at the end of the day, they are human beings, and we always promote love and kindness no matter who you are, what you look like on this platform. And I'm a firm believer of that. So even if someone's thought patterns, their mindset, their lifestyle, even if it's not what I truly believe, or if it goes against what I am doing, I am not going to treat you any differently, for sure, because you are a person at the end of the day. So yeah, I don't know. I saw a video that one of my friends posted, just getting closing that up. And there were people out of school, and they were professing, Christ, but they were downing the LGBTQ community. And I'm like, that's not what you're supposed to do, boo. Like that contradicts itself. Like, you are a walking contradiction yourself, because how can you profess love and then spew hatred? So that's just a whole nother topic. But for the law of gender, embrace both masculinity and femininity. It all goes together. The energies go together. So don't let society norms tell you who or what you can be and what you can't be. You can have male nurses. You can have women construction workers. I love architecture. Architecture is not a woman's field. It's not a Black woman's field at that. But am I going to say, oh, no, I need to do something that's, I don't know, woman like, be a nurse? No, you want to be a surgeon? Be a surgeon. Be whatever you want to be. Embrace those energies. And the most important part of that sentence was find a balance that suits you best. So those are our 12 laws, guys. So 12 universal laws. Check them out. You know, take it for what it is. You can read them over. You can dissect them and challenge yourself with those laws. And you can also take it for what your perspective of it would be. This is just our perspective of the 12 laws. So we hope you enjoyed it today.
We definitely hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed bringing it to you. We're going to close for today, and just know that we will see you on tomorrow. We have a great guest lined up for you. And before we even close this, just be sure to share, like, comment, and whenever you get a chance, view it and view it again and view it again. All right. God bless you, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.